All right, 15.2 is underway. As I actually thought it would be, it ended up being 14.2. So this is our repeat WOD for the Open. They do this every year. We always want to test, retest in CrossFit. So this is our chance to do it. Michelle Latondra and Emily Bridgers both got a little bit better. We had a couple athletes do it tonight. They both got better. So hoping that everyone out there gets better as well, better scores we did last year. If this is your first time doing it, this one's a pretty decent grinder. It's a lot of mental. How well can you push through it? How much do you want to get those next 3 minutes? It's kind of a mental game that you play during it. So strategy for this is to first and foremost stay within your limits. On the overhead squat and on the chest to bar pull-ups, don't feel like you have to jump out to 10-10. Don't feel like you have to go for 12 and 12. If 5 overhead squats in a row is good enough, it's going to be a challenge, that's good enough. Chest to bars. Our guy tonight, he did sets of 2. Literally from the first round, 10 reps. He would do 2 at a time, 2 at a time, 2 at a time. He ended up almost getting 200 reps. So into that round of 16 and close to finishing that. So even if you just do those small sets, you can still get decently far along. You just have to keep moving. You can't rest over time. As long as you're doing work, that's the goal. Use your rest wisely. So when you do finish, like the rule says, if you finish before that 3-minute mark, you have to wait till the 3-minute mark to start your next round. So whenever you do finish, try and control your heart rate. Really focus on a nice long exhale, letting the air out, and just kind of calming yourself down. Try not to get too amped up. Stay focused, stick with your game plans. Kind of use that 3 minutes, that rest time to kind of mentally prepare yourself for the next 3 minutes. Get yourself geared up for that. My tips for this workout. Firstly, is mobilize your hips. I think a lot of people are going to focus on the shoulder, which great, still do that, roll your shoulder, but mobilizing your hips, one thing that I think people don't factor into this is the overhead squat. The chest to bar pull-up gets a lot of the attention. The overhead squat is a huge factor in this. Half of your reps are overhead squats. So mobilize your hips so that as you're doing your overhead squats, you're not overly working your shoulders trying to balance and get into a tough position. If you're in a better position on your overhead squats, your chest to bar pull-ups are going to be easier because your shoulders will be less fatigued. For sake of time, I'm not going to go demonstrate any of these. Do a quick YouTube search. Go to mobility WOD, hips, any of those things, opening up the hips, whatever it's going to be, mobility WOD, overhead squat, whatever you want to search, do that. Same thing with the T-spine, thoracic spine up here. A lot of people think they have shoulder issues, and it's actually tightness in the thoracic spine. So spend some time there. Again, the shoulders get all the talk and all the focus, but these two things, hips and T-spine, are actually a much more central piece to both of these movements that I think need a lot of attention going into it. So get those hips nice and loose and warmed up beforehand. Do some mobility. I don't know when you're doing it, but do some mobility tonight. Do some mobility tomorrow during the day. Do some mobility tomorrow night if you're doing it Saturday. Do some in the morning. Like really get those hips loosened up so that when you get into it, you'll have a good squat form. Possibly wear, I don't have this written down, but possibly wear your Olympic lifting shoes to get into a better position. All depends on kind of your comfort. Yeah, stuff like that. For the ladies, pad your bra. Just do it. Makes it easier. That's a quick one, so we'll move on from that. The next one would be protect your hands. If your hands are up in that first round, it's going to be real tough to keep going. So take care of your hands starting tonight, tomorrow night, whenever, before you go. Take care of them. And then if you do like to wear covers, do it, especially if you are going to be going for bigger sets. If you're doing the smaller sets, this won't be as big of an issue, and that may be actually be a case towards doing smaller sets, is that your hands won't get as ripped up from that continual sort of grinding motion on the pull-up bar. Last one would be try doing a heavy overhead squat before the WOD, kind of as a warm-up. Not talking about going up to a max, but the weight, 95 for guys, 65 for girls, Guys, get up somewhere in that 135, 155 range. Get a couple reps there. Girls, get up into that 95, 105 range. Get a couple reps there. Just to kind of load your system up for that weight so that when you do go back down to the 95, it at least feels lighter. Again, not a ton of repetitions. You don't want to fatigue yourself, but just to kind of give your body the, okay, here's the weight, heavier load. Oh, now this feels light. If nothing else, mentally, it'll kind of, when you pick that bar up, it won't feel heavy. It'll just feel nice and light, and you'll be able to hopefully keep a good pace with those. So if you are able to push on anything, you're going to have to push on the overhead squats. Try and get those all unbroken, because you're going to need as much time as you can for the chest to bar. Those are going to be the thing that slow most everyone down and what prevent you from getting into the next round. So tough it out on those overhead squats. Keep moving on those chest bars. Even if you drop down, give yourself a 3 count. Get right back, hands on the bar. Even if you're just doing singles, don't rest. Keep moving, keep doing work. So that's my strategy and tips for 15.2. Good luck, everyone.